I let my sister and her toddler stay one night. Now my $2,000 gaming setup is ruined. My family thinks I'm the villain, and I'm starting to think she sabotaged it on purpose. I'm 25 years old, and I swear, I am one more passive-aggressive text away from losing it. I've tried to be patient, calm, and reasonable, but now I'm stuck in this storm of family drama, all because I stood my ground over something that matters deeply to me. I've been called dramatic, selfish, even heartless, all for daring to be upset about my things being completely destroyed. So, here's my side of the story. I'm a student software developer, full-time, trying to build a future for myself. Between coursework, freelance gigs, and endless coding projects, I spend an enormous amount of time in front of my computer. When I'm not working or studying, I'm gaming. It's more than just a hobby. It's my main way of decompressing after long days. I live alone in a small, one-bedroom apartment that I've slowly turned into my little sanctuary. It's quiet, functional, and tailored perfectly to me. My home office is the heart of that sanctuary. I spent literal years saving up for the setup. Custom-built PC, with high-end components, 3 monitors, a mechanical keyboard that I put together by hand, a $400 ergonomic chair because my spine deserves kindness, RGB lighting that I spent an entire afternoon calibrating to just right. It's not just a workspace or a gaming corner. It's my happy place, my recharge zone, my livelihood. Altogether, it's worth well over $2,000, but honestly, the emotional investment? Way more than that. Enter my sister. She's 30, married, with a 3-year-old son named Max. I love them both. Really, I do, but Max is the kind of kid who can bring a grown adult to their knees in 20 minutes flat. He's energetic, loud, curious, fearless, and completely unbothered by rules, boundaries, or the word no. My sister's parenting style is very laissez-faire. He's just exploring. He's so independent. Don't stifle his creativity. And while that may fly in her home, in mine, it's chaos. So last weekend, she texts me and says her apartment is being fumigated and her husband's away, and could she just crash at mine for a night? I hesitated. I really hesitated. But she assured me that Max would be fine. She'd keep a close eye on him, and it would be for one night only. Fine. One night. I can handle that. They arrived Saturday afternoon. Within minutes, Max is already pulling books off my shelves, tossing my throw pillows, and trying to climb my TV stand. I'm doing my best to stay calm. I know toddlers are wild, but when he pulled an entire plant out of the pot and dumped soil all over my carpet, I asked my sister if she could please just keep him out of my office. That was the only room I cared about. I even closed the door myself. She rolled her eyes and muttered something about how I'd understand when I had kids, but she agreed and left the door shut. Later that evening, she falls asleep early while I'm in my room catching up on some late assignments. Max had been put to bed in the living room, and I naively thought we were in the clear. I finished up and went to bed. And then came Sunday morning. I woke up to the kind of blood-curdling scream you never want to hear, high-pitched, panicked, echoing through the apartment. I bolted out of bed, heart pounding, and followed the noise to my office. Max had gotten in. The door was open. He'd managed to open it, or maybe it hadn't latched properly, or maybe my sister forgot to check. Doesn't matter. What matters is what I walked into. One of my monitors, one of my babies, was face down on the floor with a cracked screen. My mechanical keyboard, the one I had lovingly pieced together with custom switches and keycaps, was missing half the keys. My ergonomic chair was decorated with purple permanent marker, like a toddler's rendition of a crime scene. There were crumbs everywhere, goldfish, I think, but the piece de resistance? Apple juice. In my PC tower. I don't even know how to describe the sound I made. It wasn't a scream. It wasn't a sob. It was like the soul left my body. My sister came running in, took one look at the room, and went, "Oh no," in this dead flat voice, like I'd knocked over a lamp or something. I was shaking. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It felt surreal, like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. When I started pointing everything out, the destroyed monitor, the soaked PC, the keyboard, the marker stains, she just shrugged. And then she said the thing that made my blood run cold. "You should have baby-proofed the room if it was that important to you." I lost it. Not in a screaming, throwing things away, but in that dead-eyed, quiet, completely done kind of way. I told her, calmly but firmly, that she needed to pack up her things and leave. That I had trusted her, that she promised me Max wouldn't go near my office, and now thousands of dollars of my equipment I rely on for my career, was potentially ruined. She tried to guilt trip me, said she had nowhere else to go. I reminded her that our parents live 15 minutes away and that she has other friends in town. I told her I wasn't angry at Max, he's 3, this wasn't his fault. But I was furious with her for being careless and dismissive and completely unbothered by what her son had done. She left, offended, stormed out like I was the problem. And then the text started. My mom, my aunt, even a cousin. She's your sister. You shouldn't have kicked her out over a computer. You don't understand what it's like to be a parent. He's just a kid, he didn't mean it. No one, not one single person, acknowledged that her negligence caused potentially irreparable damage to my career tools. No one cared that she broke her promise, that I had been more than reasonable, and yet somehow I'm being painted as the heartless villain. I'm writing this now with my PC sitting in a repair shop. The technician said he'll try to salvage what he can, but apple juice inside a tower? It's a death sentence. I might have to rebuild from scratch. Thousands of dollars. Hundreds of hours. Gone. And I'm being told I overreacted. So I don't know. Maybe I am the bad guy. Maybe expecting basic respect for my space was unreasonable. But I don't think it was. I think I had every right to protect the one part of my life that gives me peace, that gives me purpose. And if people can't understand that, maybe they never really respected me in the first place. All I wanted was one night of honesty and boundaries. I left the shop that day with a weird knot in my stomach. Relief, sure, my PC was going to live another day, and it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But also this deep, aching sense of betrayal. I kept thinking back to the moment I first heard the crash from my office that morning, the dread in my chest, the way my stomach dropped when I walked in and saw the monitor face down on the carpet, juice dripping from the side of my tower. That sick, still silence in my chest when I realized the damage wasn't just cosmetic. It was real, tangible. Hours of work, thousands of dollars, and years of careful planning, gone in a moment. And now, there's this new layer. The idea that my own sister might have left that door open on purpose, or worse, that she might have done part of the damage herself, then blamed it on her 3-year-old and gaslit me into feeling like a monster for reacting. That's the part one can't let go of. I keep replaying the scene. Her voice flat, her expression bored. That ridiculous, dismissive, oh no. Like I just told her she smudged her mascara or stepped on a cracker. The way she didn't even pretend to be concerned about what Max had done, or about how I was reacting. Like my feelings, my space, my possessions didn't matter. Like I didn't matter. I think what gets to me the most is how quickly my whole family turned on me. Not one of them, not one called me to say, that sucks, I'm sorry. Not even something neutral like, that must be frustrating. No. The first thing out of every mouth was some version of, he's just a kid. As if being 3 is a magical get-out-of-jail-free card for chaos. As if I didn't go out of my way to be accommodating, giving up my peaceful Saturday, opening my home, even letting them stay in the first place when I knew Max could be a handful. I tried to set boundaries. I made it clear, don't let him in the office. Close the door. That's it. That was the one thing I asked. And somehow, I'm the bad guy because I expected her to honor that. What's worse is that now my sister has blocked me completely, like I'm the toxic one here. Like I crossed a line. She hasn't reached out once since BIL took the PC in. Not to check in. Not to say she's glad it's fixable. Not even to acknowledge the thousands of comments online backing me up. Nothing. Meanwhile, BIL's the only one showing up. The only one who bothered to investigate, to think critically about what happened and to say, yeah, something's off. He didn't have to take the tower in. He didn't have to pay out of pocket. He didn't even have to show up in the first place. But he did. And that matters to me more than I can explain. When he told me he didn't believe Max could have done it alone, that maybe, just maybe, my sister had something to do with it, it cracked something open in me. Not just the pain of the situation, but this flood of other moments. Times she made me feel small for being into tech. Times she mocked my setup, calling it overkill or a waste of money. The jealousy when I upgraded my monitor before she got new kitchen tiles. the bitterness in her voice when I mentioned a work win. I brushed it off every time. Told myself I was imagining it, that she was just tired or stressed or being a mom. But now I'm wondering if I've been gaslighting myself this whole time. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of minimizing myself to make other people comfortable. I'm tired of pretending that having nice things means I have to tolerate people ruining them. I'm tired of being expected to understand while no one makes an effort to understand me. This isn't about a gaming PC anymore. This is about a sister who doesn't respect me, a family that excuses it, and a me that's finally done being the doormat. No, I'm not going to apologize to my sister. No, I'm not going to sweep it under the rug for the sake of family peace. And no, I don't think being curious is an excuse for a 3-year-old to destroy thousands of dollars worth of property, especially when their parent is in the next room, ignoring boundaries. If I take her to small claims court, so be it. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I've already gathered documentation, receipts, the shop's repair estimate, and a copy of the agreement BIL, and I wrote, I'm not bluffing. I refuse to eat the cost of someone else's neglect just to avoid being labeled dramatic. I'm not dramatic. I'm fed up. And if protecting what I worked hard for, standing up for myself, and refusing to coddle grown adults who can't respect my space makes me the bad guy in the story, then fine. Let me be the villain. But don't be surprised when I stop answering the door. And now, somehow, it's all gotten even messier. Apparently, and I only found this out because my brother-in-law let it slip, my sister has been telling people I have a gambling addiction. Like, a real one. And not even in a joking way. She's been saying that maybe this whole situation, my destroyed PC, the repairs, the drama might wake me up. That it could be the push I need to get my life together. I couldn't believe it when I heard. I laughed at first, like what? Look, yeah, I went through a Genshin Impact phase a few years back. Spent more than I probably should have on character pulls and weapon banners. It was embarrassing in hindsight, sure, but I never missed rent. I didn't spiral into debt. I just got a little too invested in a game for a while, realized it, and pulled myself out. That was 4 years ago. It never came up again. She never mentioned it. In fact, back then she was almost amused by it. Your little anime loot box thing, she used to call it. It was never this moral failing. So, what changed? When did I go from being the little sister with a quirky hobby to someone she thinks needs an intervention? That thought's been gnawing at me. Because it makes this whole thing feel different. Like it wasn't just carelessness or a chaotic toddler moment. Like maybe, and I hate even typing this, but maybe it was intentional. I don't want to believe that. I really, truly don't. She's my sister. Yeah, we've had tension over the years, but not like this. Not malice. Not something so petty and calculated. But then I remember her face when I asked her to keep Max out of my office, the way she rolled her eyes and said, he's just curious, like I was being dramatic, like I was making a big deal out of nothing. And now, knowing she's out here spinning this narrative that I'm addicted to gaming, that I needed a wake-up call, that she's somehow the victim in all this, it hits different. And what BIL said about the door being too heavy for Max to open by himself, that stuck with me. I keep turning it over in my head like a bad riddle. The way the crackers were jammed into the vent, way too high for a 3-year-old. Unless he had a stool or help. The way the permanent marker was on the back of the chair, not just the seat or the arms where a kid would scribble. It just doesn't add up. And maybe I'm paranoid, maybe I'm grasping at something that isn't there, trying to make sense of something senseless. But the more I replay it, the more that dark little thought creeps back in. What if she left that door open on purpose? What if she wanted this to happen? Maybe not the full extent of it. Maybe she didn't think Max would destroy so much. But maybe she just wanted to rattle me. Shake up my little world. Prove some point about how childish I am for loving games, for spending money on my setup, for not having a kid of my own. Who knows? I don't want to be the person who accuses their own sister of something like that. But I also don't want to keep gaslighting myself into thinking everything's fine when clearly it's not. Something shifted in our relationship, and I don't know why. I've been replaying old conversations, second-guessing moments I didn't even think twice about at the time. Was that snide comment more than just a jab? Was that awkward silence actually resentment? And now she's blocked me. No explanation. No apology. Just silence. Like I did something wrong. Meanwhile, BIL's covering the cost of the repairs. No hesitation, no conditions. He even offered to help me set everything back up when it's done, which is more than anyone else in my family's offered. The shop says my PC is going to be okay. Thank God, but there's still some work to be done. It's not cheap, and it's definitely not stress-free. But it's recoverable. Me and my sister? I'm not so sure. Part of me wants to text her, push the issue, get it all out. But part of me is scared of what she'll say, or what she won't. What if she did do it on purpose? What if she really thinks I deserved it? Or worse, what if she doesn't think she did anything wrong at all? I don't know. I'm not ready to let it go, but I'm also not sure I'm ready to face what might really be going on here. All I know is I'm not going to keep apologizing for existing the way I do, for liking what I like, for building something for myself, and expecting the people I love to respect that. Maybe I will take her to court. Maybe I won't. But the damage wasn't just to my hardware, it was to the way I see her and the way I feel in my own family. That'll take longer to fix.